Evening guys, Vengex here, coming to you with a deck profile. We've got James of Team Black Rose Dragons, who recently on Saturday entered the Brotherhood Regional and came second out of 214 people, playing a really nice heroes list. So yeah, gonna pass you over to James. James, tell us what was your score throughout the whole tournament?
So I went X1. I lost to Gabriel Nets. He played really well game 2 and game 3 I kind of pricked, but he still played well either way.
So what decks did you come up against?
2 Spirals, Altergeist, Lunalites, Infernoids, and Dinos.
How good is Heroes now with Spirals and that regarding Graveyard and...
Spirals can't play through Darklaw unless they've sided in a Chalice or a Dark Riddle no more. And even if they Nibiru, you still have Absolute Zero and Mass Change to fall upon, because Zero kills all the monsters before they can resolve everything, and Acid kills all the spells and traps that they can't extend.
Cool.
With resolve.
So let's get to the deck profile and see what he's playing.
Alright, let's start with the deck. Stratos. 3 of it. Don't play less. Please. This card is good against Altergeist. It's also the card which helps you extend off Faris. It's just Stratos.
Yep.
Next is the second most important card of the deck, Shadow Mist. So, as we know, such as Master Change, which is special summoned. And with the next card, it's really good. And also, it's a huge extender if you're unable to summon it off anything like Solid Soldier, which is the next card, which is the best extender in the deck. It gives you this and a Stratos, which is literally full combo, unless you don't have Fusion Destiny, which this card will give you. Liquid Soldier. Now this card came up in every single game, no matter what I was playing, because it was just so versatile. It allowed you to draw into more cards. I mean, multiple times I drew into Fusion Destiny and I was able to end on the Dystopia as well as the rest of the board. Also, Absolute Zero and Acid are just genuinely good cards. Finally, one of the cards which make the deck basically impenetrable is Honest Neos. It adds a layer of protection to your Dark Claws or Absolute Zeros or Decimators or Mallybanes, because if Mallybane is increased, it can destroy a more wider range of units. So that's the Elemental Heroes. Next we're on to the Vision Heroes. So of course we play 2 Vion. Don't want it to be too clunky. Don't want to draw it at the same time. If you draw it, it's not the end of the world, because you have it as a follow-up play to send Mist to search. It's genuinely good. Next is one of the best cards in the deck, but of course it's not playable without Faris. It just summons Vion for basically free, and it's just all you need is Faris and one other hero monster and you have full combo.
Yep.
It's just genuinely that good. I don't... the final Vision hero we're playing is Free Faris. If you open this card and Stratos, combo. Like, you can't even argue, unless they have a Droll. But even then, you can still play through it. You can end on you can maybe end on a Dark Claw if you open the Mass Change, but that's still not too harmful, because if you've drawn Fusion Destiny, you can end on Decimator, Dystopia, and possibly a Plasma. Maybe not the Decimator. You'd probably use Darn Attack to boost it, but I'll explain that later. Here we go. Now we're going into the Destiny Hero monsters. That'll be 3 of the best extenders in the deck. Now this is so sendable, no matter where you are in the game. You have Faris to discard it, you have Vion to send it, you have Liquid Soldier to send it, you have Fusion Destiny, and this card, you don't always send it, because you obviously have other ways to do it. And obviously other cards that are better to send, like the other Destiny heroes of Fusion Destiny. Next is a card which a lot of people are in and are in about, Celestial. Now this card is a good recovery card, and it means that you can burn off Dystopia, which gives you the ability to win in time. I didn't need to win in time, but I had the extra security of 1600 life points, because a spiral play to make it strong enough to actually win takes about 5 minutes. And if you're in the last 5 minutes and you've summoned a board with Dystopia, you're probably gonna win in time if everything goes well. Next is the best card to play with Dystopia is the Dynatog. Now, it's a bit bricky if you open it, but it's also an extra layer of protection if they're playing a Borosword OTK. So if they've cleared your board and you're on 2k and the final attack of the Borosword comes out, you have the Dynatog to discard and just take 1,000 instead. And that extra turn is just genuinely so good. Heroes only need one turn and they can come back from the game, because all they need is one card. Okay, and then the final Destiny hero, Plasma. Now this card is brilliant against spirals, and it's also really good against Altergeist. It stops Meluseek, it stops Multi-Faker, it stops Siliquitus, it stops everything. The only way they can out it is spoofing, and if you've played the game right, you've probably made it so they can't even resolve spoofing. So that's also fun. So that's all the Destiny heroes. Now we're on to the evil hero, a Dusty Gold. Now, Malibane, done, cool. Next are the hand traps. So we have Free Ash Blossom and Joy of Spring. This card, whenever I drew it, was used. No matter what, it was used. I mean, it was a good stop to spirals. It was a good stop to Lunar Lights in some places. It was just genuinely good. Like, even against Orcust, if you stop the right thing, like the Orcust Nightmare, and they don't have anything else to extend, they've lost. So, interactive. Next is the second hand trap that I play, but I'm kind of oohing and ahhing about, is Double D Crow. Now, this card I like, but I lost when I opened it, because my opponent drew 2 extenders, basically. And I crowed the right thing, it just wasn't enough. So, that was interactive. That was the only game I lost. I mean, round I lost. So, now we're on to the spells. We play no traps, obviously. So, best card in the deck, Hero Lives. This card...
It's basically a free Strauss.
This is a 1-card combo. This is full combo. This and this is basically full combo, still. So, Hero Lives, pay 4k. Maybe side it out in time. I mean, I would still play it in time. And then finish your board as soon as possible. Well, not exactly if you're like a minute before time, I just side this out. But otherwise, it's still really good. Next is Rota. This searches any warrior, and it's just...
Any level 4 or lower warrior.
Yeah, well, any level 4 or lower. So basically Stratos or Shadow Mist. If you want an extender or a way to get Dark Claw out, this is enough. This is Dark Claw. This, for obvious reasons, such as Stratos, such as Solid Soldier, such as Liquid Soldier, such as Honest Neos, it's just genuinely good. Next, we're on to the Fusion spells. Fusion Destiny. This is technically a 1-card combo, but it limits the combo, because you can only summon Dark Heroes for the rest of the turn. So you can't do the Solid Soldier play, so you have to open that you draw a card that's... I'm going to explain later on in the deck so that you can abuse Shadow Mist. But other than that, it's the best you can do. Unless you've opened Mask Change in this, then, you know, it's good, because Dystopia is good, basically. Next is Darklaw. So we're playing 3 Mask Change, basically, and a lot of people have thought of playing 2, but it's just such a great interaction with targeting effects. So Imperm, it outs Imperm, it outs Tough, it baits out the Spiral Secret Agent. It does what you need it to do, basically. Next is Dark Calling. So basically it summons Malibane, and it's a huge OTK material. Like, this deck would be so much harder to play without this. It gives you Malibane for free. Seriously, it's so good. Next is Poly. This is the best card in the deck. But
You said that about 3 different times for different cards.
Okay, well, this is the 3rd best card in the deck. But alright, so this gives you Shadow Mist, if you have Solid Soldier. And it also gives you the next card, Miracle Fusion, which will give you the extra layer of Absolute Zero and Acid. Sure, I didn't summon acid too much, but that was because my opponent thought I can't beat over the acid play because I literally just only have spells and traps, and if I summon a monster, he's going to clear it. So, interactive. Finally, this is really good. I'm not saying it's the best card. I'm just saying
Just
it's
an
really,
extender.
really good. If you don't draw away to summon Shadow Mist, other than this, and I just can't tell you how versatile this card is in the deck. Stratos, Shadow Mist, anything. Literally anything is good with this card. Finally, we're on to the extra deck and side deck. So I'm going to start with the extra deck first, because it's basically part of the main deck. So of course we have the Wonder Driver. This card sets up 2 Mask Change if you only draw 1. So if you summon Dark Claw under this, then you reset it, then you can end on 2 Dark Claws. So that's fun. Next we have 2 Cross Crusader, the most important Link monster in the deck. This will search for your Liquid Soldier, your Honest Neos, your Shadow Mist.
Basically any hero.
Any hero. It extends. This card is really good. It adds such a layer of protection, and it's literally a huge reason why you're able to OTK. Because with this and Sunrise, your monsters are going to be on something like 4,000 attack points. And it's stupid. And now we're on to the rest of the deck. Don't need to talk about this, it's Dark Claw. So, Anki, OTK material. It didn't come up too much, but if you don't want to summon Dark Claw off a Mask Change, or if you're Mask Changing a different Dark monster to protect it from Imperm, just in case you have a mediocre hand, this is the monster you want to go into. It's the same as Diane. If you draw Solid Soldier and they have an Imperm for it, and you need it to go off, you switch off into Diane. If you already have a hero, Stratos Engrave, this is such a huge extender with Solid Soldier. So yeah, Blast, protect Stratos basically, and it also outs there can only be 1. So, or basically any continuous floodgate. I know this is a proxy because I had to borrow the acid, but acid, see, this card was just such a versatile card that forced players to play in a way that they had to get over Absolute Zero without sending it off the field. So, Mask Change and Absolute Zero is just so good. I don't know how else to explain it. Dystopia, the most versatile card in the extra deck. You can summon it off Cross Crusader for free after you summon it off Fusion Destiny, or if you've had to poly it out, that's fine. It's still a good way to get cards out of your hand, and it still burns. It's also a pop, and you know how pops can be good now. You can pop an important combo piece, so you could probably pop the Resort, so that you can use the Ash on the anything else, basically. You can also use it to bait out a single Appaloosa Negate, and yeah, that's Dystopia. Then we have Absolute Zero. This card, with Miracle Fusion and Sunrise, became viable again. So that's always great. Sunrise, such as Miracle Fusion, gives you Absolute Zero. Boosts your units, is good. Malibane is Malibane. Trinity. This card has always been good in Heroes, and it on Honest Neos is OTK against Galatea or anything else. So yeah, now that's the action deck done, and now we go on to the side deck. Now there was an interesting tech card that I used, but when it came up, I didn't draw it. So Dim Barrier, it just deals with Orcust, it deals with Lunalight. It basically kills off Xyz, which your deck does not play. So there is no cost to it for you at all. So that's great. Chalice, it outs Appaloosa, it outs Ip, it adds layers, basically. Twin Twister for the Altergeist matchup. I don't need to say more. Dark Ruler for combo decks. If you haven't drawn Chalice to at least go over one part of it, you have the Dark Ruler to clear the board at least. And then we have Droll. It's Droll, so it's good against Spiral, Luna, everything. Nibiru. I'm tempted to take this card out because it doesn't do enough at the moment, because the token's easily outable now. Or Nibiru itself is easily outable. So... but yeah, that's my side, my main, my extra, and that's the deck list, guys. So,
Any shout outs or anything?
the team, in all honesty, and of course yourself for helping me test for the entire week. Jamie Deacon for doing the mat and giving me the correct advice on the day. Rob for letting me get the acid. No taking the pisses out of this time. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope this helped you with your own hero build.
Thank you very much. So there you have it, guys. That's the hero build that came second at the regional. Thanks very much to James for showing us the deck profile. And yeah, like, subscribe, obviously leave your comments. It's always nice to know other people's feedback. And yeah, thanks very much and goodbye.